We're back at the Airbus Delivery Center today to see how an A330neo gets handed over to a customer. And not just any A330neo, but this blue beauty, Condor's first A330neo wearing the C livery. We'll speak to some of the people that have been here this week working to make sure the aircraft is in perfect shape and ready to go. And we'll do a little cabin walk around too, not to mention filming hours of beauty shots of the aircraft. And then in part 2 next week, we'll be heading to Frankfurt to greet its arrival airside, speak to the pilots who flew it home, and then follow it into the Condor hangar to see some of what has to happen between delivery and its actual first flight with passengers. So let's get into it. Welcome to Toulouse. We're back here for a very special day. Condor is about to take delivery of its latest A330neo. It's their 9th, and this one is the first one in the blue color scheme. It is just utterly beautiful, I have to say. And they're not paying me to say this. I love this paint scheme. I've loved it ever since I first saw it. I love that it's kind of controversial. Some people feel strongly against it, but you don't feel middle of the road with this one. You either love it or hate it, and I honestly don't know how you could hate it. And not only that, it's so distinctive. You know a Condor plane from a long distance at this point. In terms of a branding exercise, it's just brilliant. We were hoping to fly with it to Frankfurt later, but it looks like there's a paperwork issue, and it means that we can't actually be passengers. Only crew on the ferry flight. But today, in the meantime, we get to spend the day with this beautiful plane and speak to some of the people who are responsible for taking delivery of it. What happens when these deliveries take place, and what has to happen for an aircraft to go from Airbus at the factory, at the assembly line, to the airline customer, the acceptance of that aircraft, and then putting it into service for its first commercial flight. I believe they're in a meeting right now getting the payment sorted out. That's important. Transferring the money. I would love to see that. They won't let me sit in on that meeting. But in any case, we're going to be all over this plane today, just enjoying these stripes and checking out the interior, of course. We've got perfect weather today as well. This blue under this Toulouse sky just looks stunning. The only thing that doesn't look so great is my safety hat. And I'm not even going to show you my safety shoes. Just focus on this aircraft. I think it's my favorite livery out there. What do you think? Do you have one that you think is better? Let me know in the comments. Condor tells me around 50 people from the airline are involved in the process of taking these deliveries. They've been receiving roughly one a month since last December. During this time, Condor always has at least one engineer present in Toulouse who inspects the aircraft even during final assembly. During the delivery weeks, normally 6 to 7 people arrive on site. Today, there are 3 people specializing in the cabin, 1 for engineering, 1 delivery leader, and 2 technical pilots.
It's a huge plane, and as always, parts need to be reworked. We are checking all the documentation. Everything's installed the way it should be. Depending on how it's going, we are flying the airplane for, say, 2 hours to check all the systems. And occasionally there are some snags on it, so we have to rework it a little bit together with the Airbus technicians. We are still, every day we're working with them.
And do you enjoy that process, being part of this?
I enjoy it very much. The acceptance flights are very interesting because it's a non-normal environment for us as line pilots. No passengers on board, only technicians, and it's a nice flight envelope. We are checking all the systems, and this is what you don't do during line flights normally. Together with an Airbus test pilot, so you are increasing your level of knowledge every flight you do.
I just have one question for Airbus. When are you going to invite me to fly on the Beluga? You can really tell there's tons of excitement and pride at Condor about the new aircraft and the livery.
We are checking the status of the aircraft before we take it over. Is everything right? Is it everything according to what we have asked Airbus to do, and therefore I have a team, and the team is checking the cabin, is checking the systems of the aircraft, and the pilots are of course checking the performance of the aircraft. And after that we resume everything and talk to Airbus to rectify everything what we would like to have in a betterment. And at the final stage we will confirm and sign that the aircraft is according to what we have asked to do so, and will accept the aircraft finally what we did today. Everybody is very excited about this new color, and of course we are excited to bring this aircraft to Frankfurt into our fleet.
Now we're finally going to get to go on board. It's really exciting moment for me to see this in person for the first time. I've seen a lot of photos. The cabin looks amazing. Let's see how it compares in real life.
My task more or less in the team is to organize everything around the delivery, which means of course a lot of work before the delivery, within the delivery and after. So it's also organizing the team, the persons who will come to Toulouse. It's managing the processes within Condor and Airbus, and it's also supporting with the ferry flight planning. I also support with the cabin checks here in Toulouse, which means that we will thoroughly check all the seats and all the cabin items. So for us it's just to see or to identify any issues that we have with the aircraft, especially the cabin, and then to give Airbus the information to rectify, so we have a perfectly great aircraft returning to Frankfurt.
We have this nice
Oh yeah, it's quite nice.
thing, and let me check. Like this or like this. Yeah, we try to create the best experience for our passengers and of course for our flight crews as well, by taking modern technologies, especially for the IFE, the entertainment program on board. We have the latest and greatest products that were on the market. So we actually look into every detail in order to make sure that the whole aircraft with all its functions is fully functional, and that there's no defect. We even look into tiny little scratches, for example, that might disturb the experience while on board. But mainly, of course, all the functions with entertainment program in the galleys, that all ovens are working fine, coffee makers, espresso makers, that all functions are fully given, so that we have the perfect aircraft for our crews and passengers. We have a dedicated crew rest area to allow our crews also during long flights to rest. And I don't know if you're interested, I could show it to you.
Yes.
So
everybody always wants to see the crew rest.
And that's why. So that's a mix. Do you want to go forward?
Sure.
It's better to go backwards downstairs too. Because I think this is something special that not all passengers will see.
This is my first time ever seeing a crew rest below decks like this. There are actually 8 bunks down here. 2 are dedicated to the pilots with a little curtain that can be pulled to separate their section, since they'll often be on a different schedule than the cabin crew.
These are dedicated for flight crew.
Yeah.
And those other ones are for the cabin, so it's a combined crew rest.
LDMCR stands for what? Lower deck?
Lower deck mobile crew rest.
Mobile crews, okay.
Yeah, because this is, you can also remove that.
Yeah.
So in case you have, for example, a short flight, it can be removed and can be used for cargo space.
Wow.
So it's a regular size of a normal freight container.
Huh. And I love how when it comes to outfitting an aircraft, it's all about the little details.
Yeah, one feature we are kind of proud of is this GW, Galley Waste Disposal Unit. So this is actually the first time this has been installed on an A330neo. So we did the development together with Airbus and the company Bucher, who made the galleys, to install this on an A330. So the advantage is any liquid can be disposed via this, so it's the perfect hygienious system you can get on an aircraft.
Not all of the customization is in place yet, so it's not exactly what it will look like in service. There's small details, logos, headrest covers to be put in place still, and that's going to happen in Frankfurt, but the essential product is here. I believe right now we're in the premium economy section, so it's the same 242 across, but with lots of legroom from what I can see. It looks really nice with these dark seats and quite a cool contrast to the bright and colorful exterior. No doubt that was a conscious decision. It works really well, I think. And I like the fabrics. It feels premium. Chasing you around the corner. And small details like these little lit up areas where you see the seat numbers, just that much upgraded over the classic A330s. I don't know if any classic A330s have that, but I've never seen it. Then of course we have the business class, which has gotten quite a bit of press because it's very premium, very comfortable, direct aisle access for everyone. It's one of these staggered configurations that we have seen on other airlines, but with the addition of this special prime seat.
Our first row, the so-called prime seats, offer a full flat bed with a very spacious footwell area. And it also can be used as a so-called buddy seat. So if you want to spend the time during the flight with your partner or your friend, you can sit together actually in one seat.
And these center seats, as in many of these staggered configurations, are really nice for traveling together. And if you're traveling alone and you get your seat assignment, as you should, which is of course even numbered window seats, that would be my choice anyway. Further from the aisle. The odd ones are closer to the aisle. That's it for this installment. Don't miss part 2 coming up next, when we'll greet Romeo Bravo on landing in Frankfurt and then see it getting prepped for commercial service in the hangar. Everything from uploading the entertainment system to scanning the life vests to very carefully placing the logo on the bulkheads. Thanks for joining today. In Toulouse for Flight Radar 24, I'm Gabriel Lee.